Hello there, Virgo. It is Aries season, and the full moon in Libra is coming up this weekend, and so I want to get a pulse on messages that want to come out for you. Just had a group of volunteers fall out, so I'm pulling one card out of that. But essentially, what is Libra full moon in Aries season all about? It's about seeing ourselves from a third person point of view and how we're reflecting off of others. So we're looking on ourselves and being like, ooh, so that's how I do it, huh? and like, what can I do to make my relationships with others better by fulfilling my own needs, right? And I'm Michele B. By the way, Virgo, if you love my vibe, make sure you subscribe because I post videos for you 2 or 3 times a week. So there's lots of good advice, good energy flowing your way. But anyway, we're looking at the Two of Cups in reverse, and you're like, ooh, how is it that I am engaging in my most intimate connections with others? That's just not very healthy. I'm especially seeing how Virgo does and does and does. They're always of service to the other because they're thinking, well, this is what I would like. I would like it if somebody did all these things for me. I would love it if other people were at my service, were thinking about what I needed all the time. That's not actually what ends up happening. What ends up happening is that we attract people that want to be served all the time and don't want to actually do anything in return for us. And then they it's like funny dynamic happens when we're doing and doing and doing for others. I'm really thinking about the masculine feminine dynamic, where if the feminine is always doing for the masculine, the feminine has switched roles, and so the masculine in reflection with that becomes more feminine, and then they're like, okay, I'll let you do for me. That's not really what Virgo wants. Virgo wants it to be a balanced exchange. That's the upright Two of Cups. Virgo would like it to be a balanced exchange. So how would a Virgo go about fixing this dynamic? Typically, Virgo would nag. Why don't you do this for me? Why don't you do that? Look at everything I do for you. And the resentment builds and builds and builds between both parties. Instead of continuing on this path of always doing and then resenting, how about Virgo takes some time and just does for Virgo for just a little while and watch what happens. Virgo's afraid that if she pulls back or they pull back, that the other party is going to be angry with them. The other party will leave if Virgo's not at their service all the time. It's just an instinctual feeling for Virgo to have, but that's not really the case. We want to know whether or not the people who are in our lives because they really love us, and therefore we should not be doing for them all the time at our detriment. We can still be loving. We can still be happy to see people. We can still welcome them to come into our lives while not always while not always anticipating every detail of what that other person might need. How about we anticipate every detail of what we need? I can see Virgo doing a lot of things this week under the light of the Libra full moon. I can see Virgo asking themselves, what would I have my sweetheart do for me? I'm going to do it for me. Instead of doing for them what we would like our sweetheart to do for us, we are doing it. We're just doing it for ourselves. So I would love it if my sweetheart gave me a massage. We're walking over to the massage parlor and buying a massage for ourselves. I would love a spa day and have my sweetheart treat me to something like that. Treat yourself, honey. What would you have your sweetheart do for you? Make you dinner? You make you dinner. Make yourself a fabulous dinner. Or take yourself out to someplace nice, right? Take yourself out dancing. Take yourself out for a nice drink. Take yourself on a little vacation or a trip to the beach. Have a picnic at the beach. And pretend that you're with your sweetheart and they're doing that for you. And you're going to be so content. You're going to feel so good that your sweetheart or the people that you love the most will be drawn to you because you're so happy. And then they're going to want to do for you because you're holding the energy of doing for you. It's a backwards thing. Virgo doesn't think of it on their own. I know, because I'm a Virgo. And it's been an interesting journey getting to the point where I can practice this for myself. That's what you want. A balanced connection. That means you're not constantly pouring out you're not constantly pouring into the other person's cup. You need to give them space to pour into your cup, okay? Make the gap, create the tension for them to come back to you. Okay, love you, Virgo. If you love my vibe, make sure you subscribe. Boop, 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 boop. See you later.